Hello, everyone, and welcome to Building Blocks. Just excuse me for a second. I am hearing myself on a delay right now. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm just trying to resolve this. Paul, do you hear that? By any chance? Okay, I fixed it. That was like, that was bothering me so bad. It's taken care of. All right. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Building Blocks. I am Fuljens. And we also have Anna in the chat. Hello, Miss Heel. How are you? Yes, it is resolved. Today, we are going to go over some really cool features that are currently in Ecamm Live Beta. If you haven't checked out the latest beta, go to ecamm.com/beta. That's ecamm.com/beta. And there are tons of new features here. And we're going to cover some of them. And if you have any specific features here that you would like for us to try out live or you have questions about, definitely check out this release notes here. Again, that's on ecamm.com/beta, and you'll see all of them there, right? But we're going to go over some of these things, some really cool stuff. There's some Easter eggs, and also, of course, the main granddaddy feature is the new live motion. So you saw a little bit of that here when I was just transitioning from one scene to the other, but we can actually make this more fluid. And this way, this will help you get an idea of ways you can use live motion and not make it look too crazy and too overboard, and just make it make sense, right? So for example, here, I'm on the main scene here, and you'll see the camera do a little bit of live motion, right? But then this screen share overlay just flies in from the right, but we can actually make that a lot more fluid. So we're gonna work on that also. But again, if you have any questions or any features that you want to cover, let me know, and we'll go through it. So since sound was an issue just now, let's go over that real quick, right? We have tons of awesome audio features here. Let me come here. Again, if you use those things, definitely check it out. I'm going to show you where to access them, but I do not use audio plugins at the moment. So I haven't had a chance to had a chance to play around with them, but what I did do is just go through them and see what different interface will appear, right? So in the sound levels panel, right here, you have this little puzzle piece. Those are your plugins. So your audio filters. So if you click on that, an audio filters panel will appear. And then click on the plus icon here, right? And you see this add plugin feature. I have Apple, there's Elgato. I have one for Elgato, but Apple. So let's say we select any of these here. Bandpass, for example. Check this out. It popped up over here. Let me drag that over. Right? And you could combine different ones. I don't know what it's doing, if it's doing anything right now, but let me just show you another one. Delay. Right? Look at that. And let's check it out. Just one more for graphic EQ. Right? So each one has its own interface. Oh, you hear the filter? Let me turn it off. Delete. That's the thing. I don't hear it because I believe I would have to go to output, audio monitor, and turn that on, but I'm not doing it. But again, I don't use these. So if you do use them, that's where you go. And again, I believe you would have to, like I just mentioned, you want to be able to hear it, go to output and turn on your audio monitor in Ecamm, right? All right. My volume is very soft. Let's try this. How is that? Let me know if that's better. Be glad you didn't hear it. All right. And so staying on audio, this feature I believe is awesome, right? When we have a screen share, for example, and you have audio coming through the screen share or any particular app, system audio I believe in the current version of Ecamm, all the sound comes through. But now you can pick and choose. You can actually pick and choose. This is awesome, right? So here under all system audio, there's a little drop down where you can select where you want your audio to come from, right? And something I like to do is create, for example, this is a little trick here that I like to do. So when I have a screen share overlay, let me just pull up Apple Music, which I will not play. Just want to pull it up. I'm just going to pull up Apple Music here. Right? So I have the Apple Music app. And let's say I want to just pull up a screen share. And then select the Apple Music app, for example. Bam, right? And if I wanted to play something, I will play it. But also I'll be able to go here onto system audio and select Apple Music. You don't have to have the interface. You could do this without the Apple Music app being on your screen. But let's say you just want it there for some access to yourself, right? And you could just shrink it up there and just leave it and lower the opacity to 0, right? So you have the Apple Music app there playing music, and it's hidden. It's nice and tucked away. So that's something cool I like to do with screen share. But now what's even better with the screen shares, instead of having all the system audio come through, you can actually just pick and choose which one. I think this is an awesome feature. I love this feature. Right? And then, because this is going to be very important when we start building out our scenes. Speaking of screen share, if it comes to like your favorite Ecamm Live beta features besides live motion, what is your favorite Ecamm beta feature besides live motion? For me, it is the new and improved screen share. right? So let's go back to the notes, right? Ecamm screen sharing now uses Screen Capture Kit for improved performance and compatibility. So that's all you need to know, right? What that means is that, yo, this new screen share is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I have my browser off to my right here. Let me just move it over so you can see. Right, here's my browser. And then we just pull up a new screen share right here like so. And then we click on the pencil. I'm using Arc browser versus Google Chrome browser. So I'm going to say show Arc. There it is. Just pick that. Bam, right? So right off the bat, I didn't have to do anything, but check this out. Check this out. There is a new, first of all, if your desktop icons and stuff were showing around the screen share, which it was before, you can just say remove include desktop right there. And what's going to happen is that it's just going to create just basically be transparent border around this. So it's going to take the desktop out. But I don't have that problem right now. You know why? Because this leads me to the next screen share feature, which is shape automatic. Automatic. So this is automatically doing all that for me. So basically now is what you see is what you get. How you shape your screen share, this is what it's going to look like right here, right? So I didn't have to do any cropping. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move. You're going to see me. I'm going to basically move my my browser around the monitor from, all the corners of the monitor, and check to see what happens to this screen share while I'm doing that, right? Because if any of you use screen share in the past, or if any of you using screen share on the current Ecamm, you know what happens when you move your browser, okay? Check this out. I'm moving it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, right? And not only that, so let's say I wanted to reshape it. I'm reshaping it. Look, I'm reshaping the browser. I'm not shaping this in Ecamm. I'm reshaping the freaking browser. And look what it's doing, right? So now I'm going to show you. Hold on, let me just make it a little bit skinnier. Look at that. So I'm going to bring the browser back over here, and you're going to see. So what you see is what you get. There it is. And I'm moving it back. And it doesn't matter where you move it back. So let's see. Let me see if I moved it to another monitor. I'm going to shrink it down even more. Right? And let's say I moved it to, I'm just going to try to move it up to another monitor. And it's still there, right? So this is just like one of the best, the greatest features ever. One of the greatest features ever, the new and improved screen share. Let me fix that back. There we go. So definitely take your time to use that. I believe like all screen share users unite. This is an amazing feature right here. Amazing feature. The new and improved screen share overlay. So once again, you have include. So let's see. Let me see if I can try to replicate this, right? So I'm going to do, instead of the new automatic, we'll do, for example, 16:9 and uncheck. So you see this now, right? I'm going to put this over me. So this is without the automatic shape, right? And let's move it around. You see what's happening? I'm moving it around. No good, right? No good, right? So that's one thing. And then we click on here and we see include desktop. So we uncheck that and you see what happens? It removes the desktop. And then normally what you would have to do if you mind the dead space here, you would just hold option and crop it. But we don't have to do that. You don't have to do that because we're going to go here. We're going to go to shape again. Instead of 16:9, we're going to select automatic. Look at that. No pixels, nothing, no desktop, none of that, none of that, none of that. Listen, that deserves a horn. That is, it's just the small things. It's just the small things. But this is not a small thing. This is a really big thing. This is a really big thing. So thank you, Ken and Glenn, for that. I know a lot of us appreciate the new and improved screen share. If anyone is using Zoom Webinar, let me know if you would like, if you have any questions about that. I know I won't be able to show anything live because we're not launching a Zoom webinar right now, but let's just go over to the notes again. And you see these Ecamm for Zoom enhancements. I just want to bring your attention to where it says enhanced support for Zoom webinar Q&A, including an open questions tab in the comments and reactions window, support for answering, dismissing and deleting questions, and viewing question upvotes. Okay, that is one of the features I want to point out. So if you're in Zoom webinar and you have the Q&A panel open and people are typing in the Q&A, and normally you have to go to that Q&A panel and either reply to their answer or answer live or dismiss the question, right? And you would be able to see the comments pop up in Ecamm, but you have to now, toggle back and forth between the Ecamm comments and the Zoom webinar Q&A panel. But now what Ecamm does is, you see how up here you have the comments and the favorites tab. You're going to see a Q&A tab here also. So you don't have to favorite anything. It's going to filter the Q&A for you in the Zoom webinar. And not only that, once you have that, for example, you see where Bowls promo TV has instant replay. Sorry, we don't have instant replay, but there were some tricks. I missed it, but there were some tricks to do some instant replay stuff. So for example, if this was in the Q&A, you can right click this and you'll have different options. You'll have reply, answer question, and then you could answer the question right there in Ecamm, and Zoom Q&A panel will pick that up. That's one. You click on it again, you can dismiss the question, and or you can select the answer live option as well. So all of those Zoom Q&A features are now built into the Ecamm comments panel. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. So if anyone definitely uses like Zoom webinar, just keep in mind that those features are awesome. And speaking of Zoom, this is another one I want to point out, which is really, really cool. And it's kind of like an Easter egg, but it's not, because it's an actual feature. Where is it? Where is it there? It's something about the capturing the video. I'm just trying to find that. Ecamm's active speaker. It's not the active speaker. Speaker camera. Isolated video track option. There it is. Adds an option in the Zoom Windows corner menu to start Zoom capture without adding a guest camera. And this goes for all Zoom meetings. So when you launch Ecamm for Zoom in a Zoom meeting, when you launch this, why is this showing? There it is, right? So let's say you were to you launch this, and then you're in somebody's meeting or somebody's joining you. You would basically start capturing. You'll see the camera. You could click add, the add option there. But then you have the notification. The notification will go off. Ecamm Live is capturing video and all that stuff. And it's kind of happening while the meeting is taking place or something like that. And it might kind of alert the person, right? So basically, to bypass all of that, when you set up your Zoom meeting in Ecamm, now you see these three dots up here. That's why it's called like a little Easter egg, right? You see these three dots here? You're going to click on those three dots after you start your meeting. And then you'll see the option to start capturing video there. So you start your meeting and you could start capturing right away. You don't have to wait for somebody to come in and wait for their camera to appear in here, which is awesome, right? And that's also improves your workflow. And again, that kind of you don't have to think about alerting them or things like that when you caption the video and stuff like that. So you can just take care of that before the meeting actually starts, which is really cool. Again, I wish I could show it to you, but once you launch your Zoom call, add this to your workflow. When you start the Zoom meeting in Ecamm, click on the three dots and select, oh, look at that, it's right there. Start capturing audio and video. There it is, right there. Click on that, start the call, click on that. And then once people come in, you can start adding the cameras and stuff and bring it into the Ecamm production right away. You don't have to wait, which is awesome. Okay. So that was a pretty good feature. Again, if you have any other questions about any of the Zoom webinar stuff, let me know. But I hope that was clear enough. I just want to make sure that before we get into like the live motion stuff, we want to make sure these were the really good, some really useful Ecamm features. And speaking of useful Ecamm features, right? One of them that is really fun too is this one here. It's in regards to the PTZ. It's not the PTZ camera presets, but it's basically if you have a PTZ camera like an ObsBot, you now have a PTZ controller. But we found an Easter egg, and you can probably see the Easter egg right now on the screen, right? So I don't have a PTZ. I don't have the ObsBot right now in the studio to show you, but if I did, this is the controller here. And you'll be able to toggle if you pan right, pan left, pan up, pan down. And that's what this joystick will do, right? And to access this, because what if you plug in your camera, your camera, and then you have the controller pop up, and then you close it? How do I get it back? Right? So how do I get it back? Well, thank you, Janice. Janice, a few weeks ago, basically showed where to get this when Janice was doing the BTS with Anna a few weeks ago. Right here in your camera switcher, where you have a camera that has the PTZ function, you just click on this thing here, and it'll bring the joystick, the joystick back up. Okay. So now this is what I want to show you. The Elgato face cam, which is right here as an overhead, is not a PTZ camera. However, check this out. It zooms. You can use it for zooming in and zooming out, right? So normally, if you needed to do this without the camera hub, because I don't use the Elgato FaceTime camera hub or whatever the case might be. I just, plug it in Ecamm and I'm good to go. But what I would do is go into camera effects and do it here, right? Do it here, but you don't have to do that anymore because you can just use the controller for that. So please test this out. Test this out with your webcams and things like that to see if this feature will pop up for you. But it definitely works with the Elgato Facecam Pro. And that was really cool to find out last week. Again, that was an Easter egg. The zooming in and out of that is pretty cool. And on top of that, I did not know that this thing zooms in so good. So I don't zoom with this. Like I was like, damn, I didn't even know the face cam could do all this zooming in. I guess that's what happens when you don't use the camera hub, right? But there it is there. Yes, such a cool feature. I'm going to practice on yep, definitely. Because like if the face cam does this and you already know what the PTZ stuff will do. And Steven is saying, let me line this up here. Line it up. Steven is saying, what is it? My Elgato face cam and even my Logitech C920 can be controlled. Nice. Okay. And you do have a question. So no need to keep the Zoom windows open. Are you referring to the panels for the webinar? So for example, if you're referring to the webinar, yes, you don't have to keep the Zoom Q&A panel open. You can just keep the Ecamm comments window open. But what I do for my workflow, I have a overhead monitor here where I have the live chat, the Q&A, and polls. I have them 3 panels lined up, just like how we have the panels lined up in Ecamm. I do that Ecamm style in my Zoom webinar. I'll take those panels and have them lined up because I just want to be able to monitor everything just in case in addition to having the Ecamm window. But what I do is I have my responses on the Stream Deck, for example, and then I would right click your name, I would say reply, and then I'll go here when I'm ready to reply to your Q&A, go down here and then press my Stream Deck button and the auto response will go in, right? So for example, and that's what I would do. So I just use the comments and reactions window versus typing that in the Q&A panel. That helps the workflow. But for me, for peace of mind and for just making sure like everything is running smoothly on the Zoom end, I do keep those panels open. So if you can, do it, but if you don't necessarily need to do it, you can just do everything in the comments and reactions window. And again, like I said, you see the all comments, you see the favorites, and you're going to see a third tab for the Q&A in Zoom. And not only that, when you pull up a comment, you're going to see a little like a little icon here, right? And it says Q&A or a question. This is going to have a badge, which makes it stand out even more. So that's so dope. It is so dope. The level of detail that Ken and Glenn went into to put this Q&A stuff together. So definitely check that out. You're going to love those features. It's going to really help your workflow. Really help your workflow. Okay, so let me see here. We'll make sure we went over the Easter egg. We went over the audio. We went over the screen share stuff. So let's get into making a live motion, little set of live motion scenes, right? Just to give you an idea of how you can make this like really, really smooth. So what we'll do is we'll keep this scene here. We're gonna keep this scene here, and we want to use this scene here, but we don't want to do this fly in. We want to add some live motion to this, right? So let me backtrack a little bit, because maybe you don't know where to go and find the live motion. The live motion is a transition. So just like how, let me see, if I go to options, transition, okay? So you know how you have your cross dissolve, you have the new transition here, live motion. Okay. And you could just apply that to all your scenes as your set it as your default transition. And we're going to do that now. So if you go into preferences and you go to video, if you notice here, the default transition, rather than cross dissolve or swipe, is left to live motion. So every scene will have that applied to it, but you have to use it wisely, right? Because it may not look as clean when you're just, switching. So let's see, for example, I'll come here to main, and then I come here, you see that here, but then let me see. So then from here, let's go, you see the screen share. So on the next scene, there'll be a screen share, and it will basically create the live motion on that. So we have a screen share scene. You see that? You see what it did there? That didn't look too good, right? So let's go back. We have this, and then see, so again, you have to basically use it wisely. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that right now. So I'm going to show you some quick tips and tricks to get your live motion running nice and smooth in Ecamm when this is all released and you're good to go and you can use it like a pro, right? So we're gonna, again, we want to apply the live motion to the screen share here. So we're gonna actually remove the fly in. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do, here's a nice little trick, right? Because we want to have the screen share on this scene so it could apply to this screen share, okay? And that is a little trick there. So normally what you can do is, I'm gonna take the screen share, copy that, and go to main, paste the screen share here, but you don't need it to be this size. This is what I like to do. I'm gonna just show you straight up. See the screen share, see what I'm doing here? I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit. and I'm going to put it in this corner. I'm going to leave it as is for now, just so you can see how this is going to behave when transitioning with live motion from this scene to the next. So you can get an idea, and then we'll take it to the next level. Okay? You see that? So that's the placeholder for where we want the live motion to work. So if you wanted to do another animation, we could put it up here. And let's see that. Let's see what happens when we put it up here. It's gonna kind of like fly down diagonally, right? So let's try that. You see that? Okay, so let's try one more time. Let's try another thing here. Let's see if we put it right here off to the far right. And I think this is the one that we're gonna want. You see that? That is awesome, right? That is awesome. So just keep that in mind, the placement from the previous scene to the next for the transition to appear clean. But we're not done yet, because you don't have to hide the screen share overlay. You don't have to put it behind something. You know what you're about to do? You know what you're about to do? Take this and lower the opacity to 0. Watch this. So keep that in mind. What we did from this scene, we took the screen share overlay and we basically hid it. Not behind, but just made the opacity 0. And then, bam. Okay? So now, if you wanted it to be in a particular place again, if we want it to be down here, or let's say if you want it to be like right here, let's try that again. It'll apply wherever you want to set it to, right? But I think it makes more sense when we have it off to the side here. Okay? And you could take that, you could lock it, you could do whatever you want, hide it, put it all the way down at the bottom, doesn't matter, because it's not showing. It's not showing, right? So let's go back. Bam. Okay? So now what we want to do is we want to create a seamless, let's see how we can do this, right? So if we want to do this now and have it now just smoothly expand to full screen on the screen share scene here, right? So we're gonna have to try and fix that and see what's going on, because I don't like what's happening here. And I think I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. We're gonna change this here. If you notice the shape, the other shape is automatic, but this one is on 16:9. So we're gonna change this to automatic and see if that helps. You see, and once I did that, it basically went off center. So I'm gonna bring that right back here, and let's see if that helps. Let's see if that helps. Let me see. What else can we do here to make that smoother? I don't know. Maybe that's how it's gonna be. But I think that helped a little bit. I just don't like how it's just. I just would have liked for it to just go versus this little jump here that it's doing. Let me try something else. Let me just see if this would to be full screen, for example. It's the best way to do it, just to experiment. Let's see if that helps. No. So what we're gonna do now too, let's see if I'm gonna bring this back down. Shrink this back. Let's see if it's true that it's just behaving this way and there's no way around it. So I'm gonna just try to do something like this, full screen like this, and then we'll take the camera from this scene, Command C, Command V. Let's just see here. We're just experimenting here. Okay, and let's see how that behaves. So we're going to go back to main, See, like that looks great. This looks good. Yeah, I guess that's the way it is. That's the way it is, but I'll take it. It does it kind of what is it? It's coming from the right. It does a little flying from the right type of thing. I'm trying to see if there's another way to make this function a little smoother, but I don't think so. I don't think so. But again, we can play around with it and then see. But let's try something else now. So we have this one. We like this one. We like this one also. This one is pretty cool. Again, we have the screen share hidden right here, and then on the next scene, it just whoop expands like so. Okay. And if you wanted to do something where you want this to be swapped around, you can do that also. Let me see here. Yeah, I guess it works. So if you want to do something where, let's take this scene here and we're going to do Command C, Command V. Try duplicating the last scene, then modify the new one to the next position. We will try that shortly, Tim. We'll try that shortly. I just want to see something else here. If we swap this over, something else you can do, maybe not necessarily with camera and screen share, but let's see what happens here. Right? This is nice and smooth. Right, so keep that in mind also. Let's delete this one. And then we're going to go back here, try duplicating and then modify. So we're going to delete. Now we don't want to delete the screen share. We'll keep the screen share. We're going to Command C, Command V. This scene here. And then we're going to hide the camera. You know something? Let me try this also. I never tried the reversed to see what would happen if, before we get to the screen share. Actually, let me just do that now too. Just uncropping it. Whoa, super big now. Okay. All right, so let's see if that made a difference. It's still the same, but but if you notice here too, if you notice the camera that I shrunk and brought to 0, which is down here, that's cool too, right? Because what happens now if we're full screen here, but when we come back to this scene, kind of like pop up, right? So you can do that. Another, I want to, let me see. So we can do that. Let me see here. I'm gonna delete it for a second. I'm gonna delete it or hide it and see what happens if we don't have that there. Let's hide the cam link and come back. Nothing, right? So main, then beta notes, then this, and then when you want to transition back to here, we're gonna unhide the camera, but it's actually hidden because we set the opacity to 0 and just hiding it back here. But what we can do, since we like when it kind of like does a live motion from one end of the screen to the other, we're going to do it right here instead. Just going to tug that away right there. Okay. So let's check that again. Bam. Right. So you see how everything is just like so fluid now. We have the main, we have the screen share, then we have full screen share. You see how I just disappeared like that and then come back. So this is how you kind of keep the fluidity like consistent. Just making sure that you have some type of connection between the two overlays from one scene to the next. So here all we have is we have the main camera here, but we have the screen share hidden down here, actually over here. because now in the next scene, this will happen, right? And then when we come here, this goes full screen, but we have the camera hidden off to the side and very small here. And then when we come back here, that pops out like so, right? So we have that. I bet the cropping may not be able to do the live motion. It does. And you know what? We're going to have some fun with this cropping, because although I would say that this should be, could be a little bit better, like how, or better, where the screen share is transitioning from this screen to the next. But I'm glad you brought that up, Tim, because let's try this now. I'm going to take this and Command C, Command V, and let's just say we're going to take this scene here and crop. So basically it can't crop any further. And then we're going to bring it here like so. And why not? Let's see. Oh, no. All right, I got to do this again. So it's here. It's here. Let me see. Command C, Command V. Bring this here. And then we're going to okay, let's try that again. Where are you? You're right here. Let's just bring your opacity up to see what's happening. But it should work, and it's worked before. It's done this before. So we're here in this scene here. And it's bringing, it's like, huh, interesting. Unless it's something that's going on with the screen share itself. Unless it's something that's happening with the screen share itself. Turn off the transition. Turn off the transition. Okay, let's try that. So we're going to do on the overlay. Let me see. Is it? Nope, there's no transition here. And then no transition. There's no transition there. So we're gonna put this to the test and see if it's behaving like this only on the screen share. Because let's come back here and we're gonna hide the screen share and hide the screen share here. This is just all testing to get the brain flowing on stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's this feature definitely works. So we're gonna try it with a camera and see. All right, and then we can do. Let me see. Can we just do this? All right. So this is instead of cropping it, I basically just resized it. You know what? Let me just do it with cropping, because that's what we're saying, right? Because we're saying that the cropping may not be able to do live motion, which I thought it did. So we're going to do that instead of doing what I just did. We're going to actually do the crop. So I'm going to hold down Option key and crop. Okay. So we have that crop. And then we're going to come here and then bring the camera up. Oops. Not screen share, camera. Sorry. Let's try this again. So you see that? So we have this, and then we have that. So that is with, that wasn't with reshaping, that was with the custom crop. Again, right? So held on the Option key to crop everything out. Hold on the Option key to crop. Even if we were to do something like where we could crop it. Whoa. Oh boy, let's try this. You see, so that works. So it might be a screen share thing. Wow, never knew that. It might be a screen share thing, and that explains why. That explains why this is happening. We go from this screen share to this, but you know it's not doing what it's supposed to do. right? Because if, for example, here, if we were to change this into a camera and then we're going to transition to this scene, which we already have it. Okay. So we can do like a compare and contrast. So we're going to do this, Command C, Command V. We just want to duplicate this scene here so you can see what I'm about to do. And we don't need the screen share. Instead, we're going to add a camera. Right? Let's say the camera was a screen share. And you know what? Now that I'm talking out loud, I know what I remember what's happening, like in terms of screen share definitely would function a lot better than this. And I know what it is, and I'm going to tell you in a second, but this is how it should look, right? So we're on this scene here. Let's say this camera was a screen share, and then we're going to cut to this one. You see that? Versus, right? So it's definitely the screen share overlay. And what it is, I have been using in Zoom. So in Zoom, on Zoom webinar, when speakers come in and they share their screen inside of Zoom, the screen share appears as a camera overlay in your Zoom panel. That is the screen share that I've been using with live motion. So it's a camera overlay, not a screen share overlay. So again, if you're using Zoom and you have a screen share and you're able to capture the video of that screen share in Zoom and bring it as a camera overlay. That's not a beta feature, that's always been there. You can bring it as a camera overlay into Ecamm, and the live motion will apply to that because it's a camera overlay. But as we've discovered today on this show, the same doesn't necessarily apply. The movement doesn't apply to the screen share overlay, the OG screen share overlay, right? So that is very good to know. Thankfully, we have this recording, and Ken and Glenn can check that out. Maybe there's a reason why it doesn't work with the screen share as it does with the camera overlay. So, but maybe they can fix that, right? So it's a good thing that we tested out live. Thank you, Tim, for spurring that conversation. So we just figured that out just now. So just keep that in mind. When you're using Zoom and you have a screen share in Zoom and you bring that as a camera overlay, so that screen share actually you can do all that good stuff with. It will function much better. It will look a lot more like this. It will look more like this, which is what we're trying to accomplish just now, right? Even if this was like full screen, for example, like this. Right. And I think even better, what will make this even better if I change my camera to something else. This way it doesn't take. All right, let's try that. Or let me swap back to CamLink and change this to Facecam, and then change this to Facecam. Oops. Okay. Boom. Boom. See that's fluid right there. That is very fluid right there. Boom. Boom. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. But screen share overlay, let's compare it again, right? So camera and camera, or if it was a Zoom screen share, that would be a camera, not screen share, right? Camera overlay, camera to camera, nice and smooth. Screen share functions a little bit differently. And just want to make sure that it's the same exact screen share. So here it is, arc, shape, automatic, zoom app to Windows. This is unchecked. This is checked. That's all I have here. No transition out of that. And then when you come here, arc, automatic, same settings, right? So, I mean, it's not a deal breaker, and I'm pretty sure that if there's a fix for it, they will find it, which is pretty cool. So once again, let me get out of live demo mode and show you all this full screen so you can see all this in action. There's one more. There's one more I wanted to show you with the live motion, which is pretty cool. But I just want to show you this full screen. So main, and let's say this was a screen share, or I mean, it doesn't have to be a screen share. Now you know like what he does with the cameras, right? Camera to camera, and then boom. And when you come back here, bam, and bam. That is smooth and fluid. It doesn't look janky. It doesn't look like it's over the top or anything like that. That looks really good, right? So those are some really good ways you can use the live motion. Here's something else that you can do. Bringing in actual overlays like logos and things like that. Again, any overlay it will apply to, right? So we're going to do, let's take this scene here and we're going to delete this camera overlay. And let's bring this to the top. And I just need to find my building blocks logo. One moment, please. Where are you? Building blocks and logos. All right, cool. So we're going to go here and we're going to drag and drop this thing here. Bam. Right? We have the building blocks logo. So think about this like when you want to do like a nice little intro or something like that. I'm Command C, Command V the logo. Oops, I don't need to Command V it here yet. So we're taking this logo, and then on the main scene here, hold on a second here. There's something that we don't want to happen. You saw that. Be careful with those things. It's because the camera's hidden there. We don't want that. Delete. We just want this. This is all we want right now. So we have the logo here. And then we're going to come here to this scene here. Shrink that down. Just trying to find the the border. Where are you, border? I guess I'm just going to do it this way. I can't find the border. And let's say we have the logo right here. This is awesome too, right? Because check this out, right? And then boom, right? So you start with your logo for your opener, whatever the case might be. And then when you come to your main scene, it just shrinks down to wherever you want to have your branding and stuff like that. That is really dope. So just think of creative ways you can use that. And then I want to play this video for you where you're going to see, you know, when you're basically, let me just do this. So when you have your mouse and you're just dragging something like this, right? You can actually do that with live motion, right? So I imitated that. I took a mouse arrow, and put it up in the corner here. And then the arrow on the next scene ends up down here, right? But what it's also doing is taking the camera. Let's say the camera was up here. Let's do that now since we had it. So basically, the mouse is going to basically take this and drag it like this, right? But we're doing it live motion style. So they will be up here. And then we would hide this, set the opacity to 0, just to give you guys some creative flair. And then, right, so it comes like that. So I'm going to show you the recording of that in action without these interruptions here. Let me show you that. Right, so you saw that? So you saw the mouse just drag it over. So I'm going to do it again. Right? So the mouse starts off in one scene here and ends over here. All right? The camera is up here in one scene, and of course the camera ended full screen on the next scene, right? I'll show you again. Right? And then also what you saw is you saw kind of like saw the building blocks fly up and fade out. So you can do that too. So for example, if you notice here, we have the building blocks logo like this. and then it kind of like flies down here, right? But what if you don't want it on this scene? You can do something like this. You can actually lower the opacity on the Building Blocks logo, and you see that? So it kind of just is going to basically shrink and disappear like that, right? So you can do stuff like that with your overlays. Just, use it wisely and have fun and get creative with it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed all of this, and definitely let me know and show us how you plan on using these things, right? You can actually go into the Ecamm Live Beta community Facebook page and share, your work with live motion and how you plan on using it, your best use cases and stuff like that. Um, I realized I was not in demo mode when I was showing that, but I don't think I need to be in demo mode to show you. But what I was basically showing you was that in one scene, scene one, the mouse is up here in the corner with the camera hidden. And then scene two, I moved the mouse overlay down here like this. And then the camera is up here in scene one. And then scene two, the camera is full screen like you see it now. So it just creates this motion of the mouse dragging the camera to expand it, right? So I'm just gonna show you one more time. I'll just play the whole thing for you just so you can see like how it was. But that was my first time doing live motion, and I saw some stuff that I could do a lot better now, right? But let me just play the whole thing for you. Right? Isn't that cool? So again, it's all that was positioning them in where you want them to be, in hiding how we did today, basically lowering the opacity, setting all the opacity to 0. And then in the scene that you want them to appear, place them where you want. This way they could fly in. So that's how I was just doing that, kind of like it splits apart because it's basically, it's not really splitting. It's hiding in those corners I placed them. And then in the next scene, they come together like this, right? Because now it's showing them where they're placed. So play around with that. And that's basically what we did here. We have a screen share hidden right here. And then the screen share is going to fly in, and then it will basically fly back out. Right. So we have that. So play around with that. But that is those are some nice tips and tricks that you can use for live motion. You don't have to worry about hiding them. If you want that thing to go, just lower the opacity to 0, and that will work. There's so many things, so much inspiration. Definitely, again, I'll say that again. Check the Ecamm Live Beta Facebook group. Tons of live motion samples there. Martin McKenna, Paul Dixon, and there are other people not named Martin McKenna and Paul Dixon who are sharing their stuff as well. So definitely go in that beta group and check it out. And also show us what you're working with also in there too, right? And I believe that this should be released soon. So these are some really cool features. These are some like really awesome features that I think that you can use for your everyday purpose, including the ones I mentioned for the Zoom. Again, if you have Zoom webinar and you don't know where to find that feature with answering and dismissing, and just right click on the comment, and that those options will appear, versus what we have now in a normal chat. If you right click, it just says copy text, copy avatar, but you'll have more features here: dismiss, reply, and all that stuff. They'll be there. But this is only in Zoom webinar. It doesn't work in Zoom meetings. And then you'll also have the Q&A tab there. So just like if we have favorites like this, and your Q&A tab will just populate everything for you. So that is so awesome. And again, the other feature too is the amazing new and improved screen share that we've been using here. That's how we're able to just cleanly put stuff up here, like from the monitor here. And we have the automatic feature, the automatic shape feature now, versus if we were to do 16:9, see how it just messes everything up. And even if I was to kind of like do something like this, I'm just messing stuff up, but we have this automatic thing where it just basically just takes care of that for you. That, I think this is like, if live motion didn't come out, I would say this is the best feature that came out. I would say this is the best feature. And then also very important, again, when you're starting your Zoom call, add this to your workflow. Add this to your workflow. You start the Zoom meeting, right? Let me see. So I'm just gonna just show. Can I show it to you real quick? I just want to see if I am. Whoa. All right. Cool. Okay. Good. All right. So let's do this. Add this to your workflow. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna start a meeting. All right. So Zoom launched. Zoom launched in the monitor in front of me. Before anyone comes in, click on the three dots and select Start Capturing Audio and Video. Bam. Start capturing it. Bam. That's it. So now when people come in, you could just start adding the cameras. You don't have to wait to do that step when they come in. You could take care of that beforehand. That is, look, I'm just telling you, like, it's those small things that help with the workflow that, like, these are like really big features. So again, thank you so much, Ken and Glenn, for that. So definitely make sure you add that to your workflow. And if you want to stop capturing, you have it there too. Stop capturing audio and video. I totally forgot I could just do it because I thought that the Zoom was kind of like blocked when we go live, but you could still do it while live. So that's good to know. So I'll stop capturing here or whatever, but I didn't need to, but I'm just gonna end the meeting now. But that's where you will find that feature. That's where you'll find that feature. Okay. And then again, the plugins here as well, went over that, but I'm not gonna add anything because I can't hear myself. But if you do want to, let me delete this. If you do want to monitor this, I believe you have to go up here, output, audio monitor, and monitor it up here. Okay. I'm not sure which one. I believe I would probably use it. Would it be the Rodecaster Pro? I don't know. I don't use those things right now, so I don't know. Right. And I believe that's it. And then we covered live motion at length. I believe that's it. I believe that is it. Get out live demo mode. And say hello to everybody and all that good stuff because I didn't say hello. George, hello. Thank you for joining. Mr. Moderator with the emojis. Tried something in Stream Alive and with the green screen and keying it out and all that good stuff. So that was the countdown. But I was so thrown off because I had the YouTube video playing in my browser, and that's where the second audio was coming from. So I'm hearing myself on the delay. I'm hearing the music bounce back. I'm like, what is going on? But I couldn't change it because I was using the browser to pull up the Streamalive feed. So I couldn't go and switch it because you would see that happening while I'm doing it. So that's what happened. That is what happened. Nintendo Legal, hello. Thank you for joining. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Alicia, hello. Alicia, hello. Very good to see you. Thank you for joining. And then again, Miss Heel. We had Miss Heel in the chat here. Maury, hello. Very good to see you. Thank you for joining. Doc was helping out. Michael Drummond, hello. Marianne, hello. Thank you. Miguel, thank you so much. And Bowls Promo TV, like I said, there was something there where they covered how to do some type of instant replay trick. So check out the live Q&As with Ken and Glenn. I believe something happened there. Yes, definitely, Ernesto. Definitely. Did a recording for my university class and played with the screen share overlays. Yes. Nice. Very nice. Stephen Libman, thank you so much again for your questions. I really appreciate that. And let me just make sure. Tim, thank you so much for your comments because that helped us figure out some stuff with the screen share, live motion. Yes, Tasia, mind blown. Actually, no, I have a mind blown. There you go. That's mind blown right there. Maggie, hello. Valerie, hello. Thank you so much. Keisha, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Multi-channel audio is rad for those of us who have mixers going into Ecamm. There you go. I tried audio monitor. That's why I don't want to try it, because I know if I go into the Ecamm audio monitor, I'm gonna hear that little delay. I don't like that. I don't like it. So I don't work with it. I don't need it. I don't use it. And with that said, everyone, thank you for joining us. Again, if you stay ahead of all the shows happening on Ecamm Live, go to ecamm.tv/reminders, ecamm.tv/reminders, and this is where you're going to get all the updates of when the shows are taking place. I'm going to show you right now before we sign off. ecamm.tv/reminders. And I think it will fit here in this cool thing. Yes. Oops. Nope, not really. Bam. There we go. Actually, I know why, because my tab is open. So let me undo. Oops. I'm messing everything up right now. Oh my gosh, I'm messing everything up. What happened to ecamm.tv/reminders? There you are. Come back. Okay, boom. I'm just going to leave it like that because I'm messing it up. Right, so there you go. These are all the shows happening for the rest of the week. We're going to have the stream show coming up. And next week, I'll be live with Adrian Salisbury with Ecamm Foundations. We are back with Ecamm Foundations this year in preparation for the launch of ELA Live 2025. That rhymes. So definitely join us next week. That's going to be awesome. And you see all the shows there. ecamm.tv/reminders is your friend. ecamm.tv/reminders. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining. And after that, let me see. Is it even there? Is it there? Is it there? It's not there yet. But Anna and I will see you live on ENN this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So we will see you next week. Enjoy. And make sure you tune in for the stream show. Peace.